What if Jupiter swallowed every planet in the solar system? But before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our videos. Guys, do you know Jupiter is so big you can fit every other planet in the solar system inside of it with room to spare? What if Jupiter really swallowed every planet in the solar system? Guys, do you know? One new study suggests that 4.5 billion years ago, when the solar system was still young, Jupiter received a massive whack from a planet still being formed, and swallowed it up. The protoplanet was 10 times the Earth's mass, made of rocky and icy material. Jupiter's core broke apart, and denser material mixed with hydrogen and helium. A few billion years ago, the heavy material settled back into the dense core that we see today. Swallowing a single planet is one thing, but could Jupiter eat up all 7? In this video, we're going to see the planets get swallowed from the largest to smallest. Although we're saving Earth for last. Let's first talk about the planet Saturn. Guys, Jupiter is only 3 times heavier than Saturn, so it'd be swallowing a planet that's almost its size. First, their moons would collide, creating massive amounts of debris. Some moon remnants would rain down on Jupiter, and some of the debris would float into space. As Jupiter was crashing into Saturn, Jupiter's surface temperature would become hotter than the sun's outer layer. Whatever remained of Saturn would mix in with Jupiter's atmosphere. They would become one. Swallowing Saturn would increase Jupiter's mass and gravity by 30%. Jupiter would also sport prominent new rings from the shattered moons. Next, it would envelope the 2 ice giants, Uranus and Neptune. The 27 moons of Uranus would collide with the rings of Jupiter, adding to the floating debris. Uranus has an icy core made of water, methane, and ammonia, but Neptune's inner core is rocky. Regardless, both cores would melt as the planets crashed into Jupiter. Now Jupiter would be almost 40% heavier, and it would head towards the first rocky planetary snacks. The rocky planets Venus and Mars would even make it to Jupiter's core. They'd burn up the Jupiter atmosphere as if they were mere asteroids. Then we'd see our last planetary neighbor disappear inside the bulked up Jupiter. Mercury is even smaller than Jupiter's largest moon, Ganymede, so it would get ripped apart by Jupiter's rings, adding to the speedy debris. Now only Earth and Jupiter would be left. After Earth would be in big trouble. But how would Jupiter go about swallowing our planet? Even in its normal state, without swallowing 6 planets, Jupiter's gravitational force affects Earth. Every 405,000 years, the pull of Jupiter and Venus makes Earth's orbit wobble. It causes hotter summers, colder winters, and more rainfall in the tropics. And now, Jupiter's gravitational pull would be over 40% stronger. But Jupiter's pull would still be no match for the sun's gravitational force. So Jupiter would have to come for Earth just like it swallowed all the other planets in our solar system. Jupiter doesn't have a hard surface like other rocky planets. You could say Jupiter is a big, dense ball of gas. Its surface is defined as a point where its atmospheric pressure is equal to Earth's. So could the Earth simply pass through? Sorry, but no. Just like the rest of the planets, Earth and all of life on it would be toast. First, we'd be bombarded by asteroids while passing through Jupiter's rings. I doubt anyone would survive this, but if they did, they would see the Earth igniting as it enters Jupiter's atmosphere. Jupiter is so massive that even if it were to swallow its 7 planetary neighbors, it wouldn't even double in size. Now, what would happen if Jupiter continued to grow? Well, even if Jupiter increased its mass by 400%, 4 times, it would still stay about the same size. But the extra mass would make Jupiter so dense that it would start pulling on itself. It would get smaller instead of larger, and Jupiter were to increase its mass by 70,000%, 70 times, it could trigger a fusion reaction and light up like a star. Guys, do you know, the Earth has been hurling towards Jupiter for the past 242 days, and now it's about to make an impact. Now we're so close to the giant planet that the only thing that fills our sky. Ground temperatures on Earth are rising uncontrollably, our atmosphere is igniting into flames, and the scientific community is scrambling to provide answers. What will happen when the 2 planets collide? Is there any chance that we could pass right through the gas planet? And how would the collision transform Jupiter forever? One way that scientists could find answers would be looking into the past, because this wouldn't be the first time that Jupiter has collided with another planet. Nearly 4.5 billion years ago, Jupiter was involved in a violent collision with a planet 10 times the mass of Earth. In that case, the collision would completely transform Jupiter's core. So guys, that's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any amazing video from us. Also watch the next 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.